Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to the 127th edition of the Take One Podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and on this episode, we're going to get a lot into Endgame and everything that's surrounding it, and we're going to be talking about, I'm going to do some top fives on this episode. First time I did it on my channel, so yeah, that's gonna be something. It wasn't too much to work with, but I tried to do as much as I could with it. As well as before I even get into all things Avengers Endgame, I'm gonna be talking about the box office to get that out the way. I usually do it at the end of my podcast, but I figure since Endgame is tomorrow and I want to talk a lot about it, I might as well get that out the way. And talk real briefly about the box office and everything that transpired or whatever. Am I saying it right? Everything that has transpired or whatever. And I would have put this podcast out early in this week, but I just been so consumed with my other jobs that it just wasn't allowing me to do that. So I'm going to put it out today. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the box office segment. So the box office segment, if you're not, if this is your first time listening to it, how I do it is that I go over the movies that I predicted to top the top five over this past weekend or over the current weekend that's at hand. And then I talk about the movies that actually won the weekend, which movies actually came in the top five, see if it matched. Then I'm going to be talking about the upcoming movies for this coming weekend and get my predictions for that weekend. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So my predictions from last week was that The Curse of La Llorona was going to take the number one spot. Breakthrough was going to come in at number 2. Shazam was going to be at number 3. Little at number 4. And Pet Sematary at number 5. Which I wasn't too completely off, but I didn't get it all right. Because La Llorona did take the number one spot over the weekend, taking in at 26.3 million. Shazam came in at number 2 with 16.4 million. Breakthrough came in at number 3 with 11.2 million. Captain Marvel creeped his way up a little bit more with 9.1 million. And Little came in at number 5 at 8.3 million. What stands out to me is that Captain Marvel crapped up a little bit. You know, it wasn't at number, what was it? It wasn't at number 4 last week. It wasn't at number 4 last week. Matter of fact, let me look into it. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't even in the top 5 last week. It wasn't even in the top 5 last week. But somehow, some way, it crept its way back all the way into the top 5. Which I think it was at like number 6. Yeah, I think it was at number 6. And it crept back into it. That's one thing that stands out to me. The other thing that stood out to me, I kind of knew that Breakthrough was going to be in the top. You know, I did put it a little bit higher at number 2. And it did come in at number 3. So, I mean, that don't really stand out to me. I just knew it was going to come out around the top. Like, what would have been surprising to me is if it would have came out at number 5 or just not even been in the top 5 at all. So that would have been surprising to me. So between 2 and 3, I would have said 4 and maybe 5 maybe would have been a little bit surprised. Or, you know, maybe even lower. But I knew it was going to be up in that range. And Little, you know, it was, I mean, it was what it is. I haven't seen it yet. I'm planning on seeing it tonight. So I'm going to give my review. I don't know when. I literally have been so backed up. I'm trying to orchestrate when I'm going to be able to do my reviews. I haven't put out a movie review in like almost 2 weeks now, and I'm past due for one. And I don't know when I'm going to put it out, but I'm hopefully put it out sometime soon. I know this weekend I'm going to be jam-packed with Avengers Endgame. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I already have 3 screenings that I'm going to, you know, see for tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday. I don't know what else is going to happen, you know, in between that. And then I'm going to have to put out my spoiler and non-spoiler review of Endgame by the end of this weekend. So, yeah, my weekend is going to be, like, crazy. And then, I don't know. But I'm going to be, hopefully put it out by next week. So, be looking out for that. But in any case, the one thing that truly stands out to me is The Curse of La Llorona. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm thinking like a lot of people will kind of sleep on the Conjuring universe because no one actually ever really speaks about it, only when it comes out. Like, I know the movies haven't been like really truly just downright good as well as successful, because you got movies like Annabelle and The Nun, which to me was just horrible, and they didn't, they did decently, but they wasn't like, I guess The Nun did the box office good. I mean, it made its numbers enough for them to want to want to make a part 2 or continue with the universe. It wasn't a complete like flop and failure and everything else. But when I'm looking at the opening numbers as compared to like La Llorona, which I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but La Llorona does take place within the Conjuring universe, but it's a far distance away. It is only literally one mention of being connected to the Conjuring universe, and that's it. This is completely just a standalone, besides of just how it's looked and shot like The Conjuring. Like, you could tell that the director basically studied, James Wan and how he did that. He wanted to closely kind of resemble it, which is kind of like a pro and con in itself. But this movie over the weekend, like I said, took in 26.3 million, which is lower than any other movie within the Conjuring universe, which The Conjuring took in on his opening weekend box office 41.8 million. The Nun, and I'm just doing it in order how I'm looking on Box Office Mojo. The Nun took in 53.8 million. The Conjuring 2, 40.4 million. And Annabelle Creation, 35 million, and Annabelle did 37.1 million. So out of all the movies that have been currently in the Conjuring universe, this is the one that took in the lowest. Which, coming out of it, like I said, with movie reviews, I'm going to have a movie review out hopefully soon. But I did like it. I did really did like it. It wasn't the best horror film. But I left out of it like really liking it. I could see the problems that a lot of people have with it, but I really did enjoy it. So it's kind of like, sad to see that it did the numbers that it did, because, Annabelle deserved the numbers, the opening weekend box office that this movie had. The Nun deserved the opening box office, returns that this movie had. Like, this movie, out of all of them, it didn't deserve these low numbers. Given people are going out to see this movie, but I think because of it being like, I ain't gonna say if it's a major thing, but I guess it's just like being having Mexican folklore. I don't think that appeals to every single person. Certain people might skip out on it or whatever, or certain people might see the trailer and might not think that it looks good or whatnot. But I don't know what it is that just deterred people away from this, because the Conjuring franchise, I mean, you can say that ever since the first Conjuring, that it kind of went down. Even with the second Conjuring movie, I say for me that was a light step down. It isn't as good as the original, but it's not too far away from being good itself. Like, I could still watch it anytime, but it's just, I don't know. Like, I guess people are starting to kind of shy away from the Conjuring universe. We'll see how Annabelle Comes Home performs this year. But if this one does really good, then I guess you could say it's kind of a mixed bag. Like, you're going to get movies that people are going to want to see, movies that people don't want to see. And that's just how things just coming along with this whole Conjuring universe. But it's just nuts. I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, that's the only thing that's the only real big thing that stands out to me about the top 5, the box office weekend. So let's get into the upcoming movies or movie of this weekend, which is the big movie that's coming out this weekend. The only movie that matters at this point in time right now, at least for the next 2 weeks, which is Avengers Endgame. And so I don't have to sell it to you guys. I haven't seen it. Going to go see it tomorrow. Going to see it tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. I may try and fit another screening in between that time. I know I'm going to try to see it as much as I can. Hopefully I like it that much to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see it again. See it at least as much as Infinity War, or, maybe even more. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, so the end of everything, like how everybody's saying that like Infinity War was the culmination of everything. This one is the real culmination of the 22 movies or 21 movies leading up to this. And I cannot be more excited. I cannot be more excited. I'm not going to talk too much for this because after I get done with the box office segment, I'm going to go ahead and talk more into that. But yeah, so this is, man, this movie is coming out. This is a movie that everyone's been waiting for, whether you watch all of the movies, whether you watch maybe several of them. Certain people are going to go see this. It's going to deter it away because of the runtime, but it is 3 hours and 2 minutes, and that's the movie that's coming out this weekend. So what my top 10 or my top 5 is going to be, my predictions, is going to be that Endgame is going to take the number 1 spot. No buts about it. And the number 2, I looked at this and I'm thinking like, the Curse of La Llorona is still gonna be a number 2. It could do a switch where Shazam ended up taking the number 2 spot, and then La Llorona get bumps down to number 3. But I think La Llorona is gonna keep its spot. I think everything is gonna keep its spot from where it is. So everything is just gonna be pushed down. So it's gonna be Endgame, Shazam. Endgame, La Llorona, Shazam, Breakthrough, and Captain Marvel is gonna be in the top 5. And so let's go ahead and jump out the box office segment and quickly jump right into everything that is new to rent, own, or stream. Which the major movie that is out to rent on the stream this week is Escape Room. And if you guys have not heard of that, it came out earlier this year. It's just about these strangers that get, participate in this escape room game, and they find out that it's more than just a game. It is a life and death scenario, and they have to try to get out to survive. And my review, I'm more than likely going to attach it to this podcast if you're listening to it on YouTube. So go ahead, check it out. I got my review out for it and all that stuff. And if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, go ahead and buy it, rent it, or whatever, Amazon Prime or however you do your stuff. So let's get out the way, and let's talk about the meat and butter. Meat and butter? I don't know, bread and butter. Yeah, the bread and butter of this podcast, which is talking about Avengers Endgame. Now, the premiere came on Monday. Tuesday, yesterday, it was released in China, as well as certain, it was press screenings, and certain people of the public, got to see it a little bit ahead of time. And so the reviews are in. Reviews are in from social media all the way to just flat out full reviews. And the consensus say that this movie is awesome. Some may call it a masterpiece. Some call it just a great movie. Some recognize that it have its problems within the first 2 acts, the first 2 hours. But a lot of people, the consensus from the people that I've listened to it, their reviews, they all basically say the same thing. The last act, the final hour of this movie is one of the craziest, best things to happen in superhero movie history. And I know that's really hyping it up. Hopefully it lives up to that hype. I can't wait to see this. I'm constantly hearing this, and every time I hear it from a reviewer, a person that's seen it, I get so hyped because I'm so happy about this. Now, I was talking to my nephew a little bit earlier, and I told him, now, this is non-spoiler. I've heard, what I'm about to say is non-spoiler. I haven't seen the movie. I've been avoiding spoilers because if you haven't listened to me talk about spoilers before, which I'm going to get into a little bit, I hate spoilers. I really hate spoilers. I don't give a spoiler to a movie unless a person just do not care at all. Just doesn't care. And I'm even hesitant at that point to even do it. But I don't give out spoilers. I try to tread lightly. And I don't like having spoilers being delivered to me, especially when it's something that I want to see. I don't care. Game of Thrones, I don't want to hear anything about who dies, what happens in there, and all that stuff, because even though I've only seen maybe the first episode and maybe part of the second episode of the first season, I mean literally at the beginning, it's going to be a point in time where I have time set aside when I'm going to watch Game of Thrones, the first season, second season, have all the way to the end. Not probably each season back to back, but it's going to be time where I'm going to eventually watch the whole series. And I don't want to know anything. I want to go in with knowing as little as I know now and just going off of that. So you don't have to worry about it. But basically, I was talking to my nephew earlier, and it's like I guess you could say I kind of got spoiled, but not really. It wasn't anything that was given to me from somebody, that was being an idiot online and just giving out the spoiler of the movie, spoiling, nothing like that. So hopefully I can get from now until then without being spoiled with anything. But what I got spoiled with was something that reviewers had said and something I've seen in the actual Endgame trailer. So it was one thing with like the whole, and I don't know if people are gonna take this as a spoiler, so you could probably fast forward a little bit. But just from what people saying, the final hour was like just crazy and everything else, and it got me thinking like, what could it contain? What could it contain? And I watched a Endgame trailer, and I saw a scene. I'm not gonna say what Endgame trailer it was because they do have like titles for each one. And I did watch this, and I saw a scene in that trailer which kind of basically put two and two together from what people were saying about the last act, the final act or whatever in Endgame, and then that scene, and then certain things in the other trailers or whatever, just piecing together certain things. It's like now I really understand what that may contain. I'm not going to say what it is, or what trailer and anything else, but it was like I was kind of spoiled. And it's like I'm kind of mad, but I'm kind of not. I'm kind of like not mad because I don't want to overhype myself for this final act, and I myself may not find it as crazy or as good as everyone else put it out to be. But at the same time, I'm kind of mad that I do know because I wanted to go in there as an actual surprise as to what it is. Now I could have everything wrong, but from what I saw in the trailer, as compared to as like. Plus, on top of what I've heard from other reviewers, it's kind of like just a conclusion that I came to that this may end up being part of the final act. Which, if it is, I'm not mad at it. As far as just what it may contain, this looks like it's gonna be something special. It's gonna be something special. Hopefully, I love it. But basically, from what I hear, so John Campion is a person that I follow a lot when it comes to reviews and just his points of view. And from one thing that he said is that like, yeah, it does have like slow points within the first 2 hours, first 2 acts or whatever, but he said just like a lot of people, you do not want to get up for that third act. You do not want to get up. So if you going to go see this movie and you don't want to miss a thing, strategically plan out your drinking process and your piss break. He says that like it's a point in time, he didn't say specifically, of the second act of where you can get up, go to the bathroom real quick and come back, and you won't be like missing out on a whole bunch. But that third act, you do not want to miss it. And I know what I'm going to do. Today I ate something that got me full for like hours. And I mean hours. I ate it at work, and I came home, fell asleep, woke up, still wasn't hungry. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fill up on something before I go to the show, drink something probably light or whatever, and then when I go, and it's gonna suck because whenever I go to the show, I go and I get me, I rarely get me popcorn. If I get me popcorn, I'll take some cinnamon sugar that I have in like a little thing, sneaking in, of course, whatever, pour it on the popcorn, mix it up because I like cinnamon popcorn. And if you haven't tried it, try it. It is, if you love cinnamon sugar and if you love popcorn and if you like both of those combinations together, oh my God, do it. Just try it. It's so good. Just so good, man. But yeah, so whenever I go, I'll get like a large, medium or large pop, and I'll get me a hot dog to eat because popcorn, I may or may not eat it. Majority, 9.5 out of 10 times, I probably won't eat it, So a hot dog, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat it all, so I'm going to get my money's worth with it. And it's kind of like I want that experience. I want to have that when I go see this movie. The first time seeing it, got to see it in IMAX. It's a special occasion. I want to have like my pop on the side of me. I want to have something to eat. I want to be like, oh, yeah, I just wanted to have it all. But hey, I mean, sacrifices. What we learned in Infinity War. So, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I'm really, really ready for it. I don't know what everyone else's game plan is, but that's what my game plan is so that I won't miss a damn thing. And just talking about, getting back to what I was talking about with spoilers. Yeah. When it comes to spoilers, so the Russos last week, I didn't get to touch on it because of just being busy and stuff like that, and kind of partly being lazy. And the Russos put out a letter to fans, basically telling us to keep our mouths shut, to not spoil it. Everybody wants to go in and have this type of like, experience, and you can't have that experience if you know everything that's about to happen. And it's just, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like why spoil? Why spoil something that you and everyone else wants to see? Like, it just, there should be a point in time where everybody should just go in and just enemies can just coexist, where it's like, you don't care about spoilers, I do, but we want to see this movie, let's go watch it. It should be something like that, where it's like enemies become friends for 3 hours, and then after that we go back to be enemies. It should be something like that, where people should just come together, say kumbaya. Which I know this is a lot to ask for, but you would think. But I mean, it's people out there, and when I think about these like people that come out and just want to spoil stuff, say this happened, that person died, blah blah blah, and I know I'm just asking for it because I might have the wrong person just listen to this and then just throw in the spoiler. So after I upload this, I'm not gonna be looking at my notifications. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I want to stay away. But in any case, when it comes down to it, it's like, don't spoil it. If you know something about the movie, if right now you're probably going to have pirated versions of it from China or whatever online and everything else, and if you sat there and watched the horrible version of it, and you just want to write down some stuff, that way you can just shoot out spoilers all over social media, just don't. I think about the Joker... No, not the Joker. Alfred line from The Dark Knight. Some people just want to watch the world burn, and that's essentially what these like trolls are. That's essentially what they are. They just, it's just, man, I just don't understand it. Maybe like I said, people just want to watch the world burn. There's no logic to it. They just do things like the Joker. I don't think, I just do. And that's basically all the way it is. I just don't understand it. So I've been treading carefully, trying not to get spoiled. And yeah, successfully, I can say I came out on top, and I've avoided major spoilers. So I'm literally in the dark, just like a lot of other people that is waiting for this movie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, if you can find it in your heart. I know it sounded like just like a kids movie, but if you can find it in your heart to just maybe don't be an asshole, don't be that person, don't be a stupid idiot and go out and just spoil the movie for people that want to go in there blind. Because there's certain people that don't even watch the trailers, they don't want to know anything about it, they don't listen to theories, don't listen to reviews, don't watch the trailers or anything, that just want to go into there blind. So just so that they can, basically get the biggest shock of everything, And I'm like, that's cool. I wish I had that, but I need to watch a trailer. But, it's just don't spoil it. I just, there's no point. You're not getting paid for it. You're not going to get $1 every time you put out a spoil and somebody gets spoiled by it. And the bigger the spoil, the more money you get. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to be stupid. It really isn't. And then the other thing I'm going to get into is that when it comes to Avengers and Infinity War, I keep out to say Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, it's something to marvel at. I'm not gonna talk too much longer for this because I'll be talking for like an hour on this stuff because I've had before. The scores have came out. The score was revealed. It went from 98 to 97 right now on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm about to check right now to see if it has like jumped down a little bit more. But basically, yeah, it's up there. Like the consensus, everybody is coming together and just really, really loving this movie. And that got me truly optimistic because one of the things that I was thinking about this movie was that I hope that it's not, something to where, it's a big hype for it. And then, you get the, reviews from a lot of people and they're constantly saying they're like, yeah, it almost hit the mark. It just wasn't like, it just was disappointed. But like, that was one of my worst fears. Because then that probably would have been a make or break on whether I want to cancel my other viewings for it. But to hear a lot of people are, saying that it is good, yeah. And with a 98, then, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, it got me wanting to see this movie. And then IMDb did a 9.3 out of 10, and IGN.com, 9.5 out of 10. Man, them numbers. I'm just super excited for this movie. I just can't. I'm trying not to get too excited, but also I didn't get to say it on my last podcast because it didn't happen and I didn't have it in my mind. So going into Infinity War, I got my Infinity War, my Quantum Suit hoodie. It's a pullover. I wanted to get the zip up, but it's just with me thinking about this late in the game and everything else, I ended up not getting it, prior. So I had to find, one, place that was going to ship it to me within, the amount of time before, Endgame comes out. Because, I'm not trying to have it be like, oh, it's coming Wednesday. And then, how sometimes certain things you expect to come Wednesday, like, oh, it says it's going to come Wednesday. And then, oh, something unexpected happened. It's going to come later than we expected. So, expect it like tomorrow or Friday. And it's like, oh, I would have been so pissed. But I found a seller on Amazon that, shot it to me. I ordered it Friday and I got it Sunday. So I was so happy. It fit good. It was coming from China. So, I had to get like 2 sizes bigger. I would wear a medium. So I got a extra large. I probably should have got a little bit bigger, but I didn't want it to be too big, but it fits good. It fits good. And I'm going to wear that tomorrow. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. And I'm ready for it. I'm supremely ready for it. And yeah. I'm down for this movie. I'm just wearing it with pride. Like, and I wish that I would have did everything beforehand. It just, with my job and everything else, has just been crazy as far as hours and not getting hours and everything else. But I wish I would have did it all decked out. Because they had the quantum shirt, the quantum suit shirt. They had the pants to match with the hoodie. They had a hat. And they had some shoes too. I'm like, man, if I would have did that and just, I would have been like, people probably would have been taking pictures. Like, oh man, we need to take a picture. You know how certain people are. And I guarantee you, there's going to be several people with that. I'm going to a Regal because, like I explained before, with me trying to get tickets before, I couldn't get the IMAX at AMC Navy Pier while I stay in Chicago. But I am planning on going to Navy Pier so I can get that experience. So hopefully I can do that next week. But yeah, I'm truly ready for this. I'm truly ready for this. And so let's jump right out of the Avengers talk discussion because I believe that's all I needed to talk about. And let's jump right into the top 5. Now I have 2 top 5s and I'm gonna try and go through them quickly because I'm not trying to have these, I put them out as individual videos. I'm not trying to have them too long or talk too much longer for this podcast itself. So let's jump right into it. So the first top 5 is going to be about who will die in Endgame. And so if this was Infinity War, which I did put out a top 10 who would live, I think, what is it? Who will die and stuff like that. And, Infinity War and all that stuff. This year is so different with this movie because we already kind of know who's going to survive. And I didn't have to watch the movie or hear spoilers to know because we already have a a Falcon and Winter Soldier series coming to the Disney Plus streaming. We have a Hawkeye series coming to the Disney Plus stream. We have a Black Widow movie coming out. We have a Black Panther movie coming out. Well, a Black Panther 2 movie. Doctor Strange 2 movie. We more than likely going to get an another Ant-Man movie. And, and WandaVision, a new streaming series for Disney Plus. Then we got a Loki. So I don't know if that's going to be in the later years or something gonna happen in Endgame or whatever, but yeah. And then Spider-Man, is coming back. So it's just all these kind of like spoilers, I guess you could say, just giving us a hint. And then we got a Guardians movie coming out. James Gunn came back and he's doing Guardians 3 or whatever. So I mean, with that, we don't know who all is gonna stay dead or whatever. But in any case, it's not too many names that I could pull out that had to say, oh, this person gonna die, that person gonna die, that person gonna blah, 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 and just go on like. So I had to look at all the names that I feel was going to die, and I got 5. I really couldn't get any more. I mean, you probably could dig out more, but yeah. So basically at number 5, I got Thor. I don't believe that Thor is really gonna die, but he may end up dying because if you look at the if you look at the comic book with Thor, as far as like his name, Jane Foster took over the mantle of Thor. So now he's just Odin's son, which is weird. He just doesn't have a name. Odin's son is, in a sense, kind of like a title like I will be a son, father. If I had a girl, I'd be a boyfriend. Stuff like that. It's just kind of like one of those titles. So essentially, he just doesn't have a name. Thor was his name, but that was just a title that we found out. So it could go for the movies as well, and we have Valkyrie. So Valkyrie, in a sense, Thor could die, and she could end up taking the mantle of Thor. Instead of Jane Foster, like in the comic books, she could be the new Thor going on. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be. So he got my top 5. He's at number 5 of the people that will die. Which, I don't believe, but hey, it probably could happen. Number 4 would be Rhodey. He's a person that I haven't heard too much about, even though he's like one of them like really minor side characters or supporting characters or whatever. I think that he may not end up coming out of this. He may end up, but he may not end up coming out of this. With all the people that we know are coming back from the snap, and then certain people that are probably going to not renew their contracts and come back. I don't know. Like, I think he may end up being a casualty of war. May not be. I mean, but in any case, I think that he probably may end up biting the bullet or biting the dust. However you say it. Yeah. Something like that. But I feel like he's going to be one of the people that perish, and not just, he's going to die in war. And I feel like that's going to put Tony Stark at the brink to where he needs to win this. And I think that's what it is. Number 3, Nebula. I believe she's going to die. I believe that she is probably going to die going head on with Thanos, and Thanos is just going to end up putting her out of her misery. That she probably is going to get the best of Thanos, but she's probably going to fail at it. She probably might end up making it to the last battle with all the craziness, but I feel like she may end up being one of the people that just taking out. Just Thanos is like snapping her neck or pull her head off. I know that'd probably be too gruesome, but, just doing something like that, I don't think that she's going to survive this movie. If she does, cool, but I don't think she will. Number 2, Captain America. I think that Captain America is going to die. Something's going to happen where he can't continue because Chris Evans came on and off where, let me rephrase that. He was basically back and forth with with whether he was going to come back or not. First, he's saying that he's not going to come back. He's done, blah, blah, blah. He want to do other things. But then he said, like, he wouldn't mind coming back. Blah, blah. I mean, it's a big thing. So, I mean, certain people want to move on. Certain people don't care. They want to do it till they die or, till they just literally get tired of it. But since I believe his contract has expired, he may end up renewing a new one, but I think that they may end up getting rid of him. One theory that I've heard is that they might do a like Dark Knight thing, where he makes everyone think that he's dead, but he's really not. So I don't know. I feel like that's basically what may happen, or something similar. But I think that he may end up dying in this movie. And of course, number one, Thanos. Thanos is gonna die. No, I'm just playing. I mean, we all know that more than likely Thanos is gonna die. I mean, he may not. I don't know the ending. I don't know what's gonna happen, but more than likely he's gonna die. But discluding, discarding like that whole thought, I think Iron Man is going to die. I thought about this in Infinity War, just leading up to Infinity War, is that he's going to sacrifice himself to save everyone else, because he, out of everyone else, has been guilt tripping over this, for years. Like, he was scared. That's why he created Ultron. He was scared to death that maybe they may not be able to win the war, or an upcoming war, something just major. So I feel like he has more to just lose, or more to give as far as a sacrifice to win this. And I feel like he's going to end up probably dying. Now, I don't know. They probably could keep him around just out of like, maybe his cameos in the future. Maybe he just completely retires as Iron Man. And then they might bring, what's her name? Riri Jones or something like that to be Ironheart, or, go a new spin with it. But I think that he is more than likely going to die. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, those are my top 5. Those are the people that I think are going to perish at the end of Endgame and not come back. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. I have to wait to see the movie. So, with that said, let's jump into the other top 5. Now, going into the top 5 people who will most likely kill Thanos. So, coming up with only like 5 people that are worthy. I think I'm going to start off with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, she may not have as much stakes as everybody else, but because of just, I guess you could say, her connection with like Nick Fury and just all the people that she saved, the planets that she's basically, went to protect and all this stuff, because, other planets weren't lucky to have Avengers and everything else. You would think all those efforts are going to waste, because majority of the, worlds that you saved from whatever half of them ended up getting wiped out, so I feel like she has a stake in this, even though we're not as invested in her as we are with the other characters as Thor, Iron Man, and everything else. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have a stake, in like, or she just doesn't have a right in being the person that takes down Thanos. Now, will she kill Thanos? I don't think so. Because I feel like a lot of people would have came out of the movie upset if she would have killed Thanos. Especially with there's a bunch of other people, or at least in my case, 4 other people that are, more worthy of killing the Mad Titan. But I put her on the list because of just her conviction, what I've seen for her in the trailer and everything else, and that she really just want to go get him. So with number 4, we're going to go down to Thor. Now, Thor, he did not make a promise, but he did say something in Infinity War when Heimdall got killed, and he told Thanos that he's going to die for that. And at the end of Infinity War, he didn't go for the head. And he told him that he was going to die for that, but he didn't successfully end up killing Thanos. So I think that that's sitting on his mind. That everybody feels they lost, they could have done more, but I think like Thor is one of the people that feels like he should have done more. Instead of sitting there talking, I told you were gonna die for that, he should have just literally gone for the head and just maybe even just ripped it out and just started jabbing him, something like that. So I think that he has a real hard stake, especially since a lot is weighing on him, because he's lost the people that he loves, friends and family, so he's literally by himself. And he lost half of the people that he saved. So it's kind of like he needs to like take him out. He needs to just demolish him because his world was torn apart, and he has a lot riding on it. So I think Thor is one of the more likely people to, go ahead in the Mad Titan's life. I feel. I mean, that's just me. But number three is Nebula. Nebula then gone through hell with Thanos. Every time she lost against Gamora, had to get certain parts of her body replaced with like robot, with artificial, limbs and stuff like that. So she's basically a machine at this point. Just majority machine. And she grew up hating the Mad Titan, even though she tried to prove that she was better than her sister and everything else, trying to prove herself to her father. He just never saw it. He just gave more favoritism towards Gamora and just kept her around because of, just whatever. And he just tortured her all throughout her life. And then just everything that they gone through, yeah, from her conviction at the end of like Guardians Volume 2 all the way to now, she definitely wants to take him out. And it's more than just, oh, you killed all my friends. This is like years of just hatred just brewing that was aimed at the wrong person. Now she's aiming it at the right person. So yeah, she is she is one of the people that should kill the Mad Titan. Number two, of course, Captain America, because he feels like he is the leader. I mean, when it comes to Avengers, a lot of people might say that Captain America or Iron Man may be the leader since he started everything. I feel like Captain America is the leader. Captain America is the leader. Iron Man, I guess you could say, if you could say co-captains, it would be Iron Man and like Captain America. But when it comes down to it, yeah, I would say Captain America is the leader. And as a leader, a lot of times if you don't lead your team to victory, you feel responsible because you were responsible for getting your soldiers ready or your team ready to go into this battle and come out victors. And that didn't happen. Everything was all out of his control. The war came to us, and he had to act like, accordingly. And he wasn't able to do it. He wasn't a part of the big picture. He tried, but he could not stop the Mad Titan from getting the Infinity Stone, the last Infinity Stone, and killing all his friends. So I feel like he is one of the main people that is going to take down Thanos at the end. And with number one, of course, it's kind of similar to the other list. Iron Man, like I've mentioned before, with Iron Man, probably most likely person that's dying, he has the more stuff conscious, like just conscious stuff weighing on his conscience as far as Thanos. All going from the first events of the of Avengers, leading all the way to Age of Ultron, to Infinity War, to now. He's had more invested in this whole thing than anybody else in this movie. I mean, and you can say like, oh yeah, Thor, this and that. But when you think about it, I mean, yeah, but he's been kind of like the forefront. If you want to think about the main character of the whole MCU films, it's Iron Man. Even though he wasn't in a lot of the other films, he, out of every single person, every single character, every single actor, he has been in the most Marvel films, besides Stan Lee. But yeah, so that's one thing that I could say. And I feel like he is going to be the one to do the crushing blow for Thanos. Just like how Thanos grabbed his sword and jabbed it into his like stomach, or his side. I feel like Iron Man is gonna do that. He's gonna grab his Infinity Sword and he's gonna like wedge it into like his heart. And I think this time, I don't know if he's going to go for the head. That'd be too gruesome. But I feel like he is going to be the person to end the Mad Titan. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. And I feel like it's going to not going to go without a cost. That's how I feel in my soul. But yeah, those are the 5 people I feel are going to take it there and possibly end the Mad Titan's reign once and for all. So there you have it. my 2 top 5s, and the end of this podcast talking about Avengers and all this crazy stuff and my hype and anticipation and all that stuff. So yeah, there it is. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys are excited as well as as excited as I am. I know certain people have been following this for years in the comic books and all this media and just true geeks and nerds and I say that in like the best way possible of this genre that probably could get way more excited. Like literally at this point, I'm jealous of people that grew up on this stuff, that read comic books, that know all the lore, that, you know, from a kid all the way to now, that just can pull stuff out their mind like, no, that happened in there, that can correct somebody, that can school, you know, new people on, you know, just, you know, stuff that's been written now, that's read the old school, the new school, and everything else. Like, I'm jealous of those people. I'm jealous. I wish I had that love. I wish I grew up on the comic books like you guys have, played the games, read the, you know, just everything about it. Like, I wish I had that type of extensive knowledge, but I'm pretty sure I'm not as excited as you guys, but I'm pretty damn excited. And this is just crazy. It is nuts. But in any case, that will wrap up this episode of the podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for listening and joining me on this episode. Hope you guys are ready. If you're really anticipated on going to go see Endgame, hope you guys got your seats. I hope you guys got it. I know it was a lot of craziness during like when the tickets dropped, and it did. And what's crazy is that it seemed like it was just yesterday that it happened. Just yesterday, which, man, yeah, these weeks went by so fast. It's kind of bittersweet. We can't wait to go see. The anticipation of Endgame and everything is like riddling us, but the only bad thing about it is that it's going to only happen once. It's only going to happen once. You're only going to get one good time to watch this movie, and it's going to come and go. Just, you know, it's going to, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to come and go, and the hype is just going to die down. Slowly but surely it's going to die down. But hope you guys are excited. If you are, hope you got your tickets and everything else. And I hope you guys can moderate what you eat and drink beforehand, because you don't want to have your bladder be like telling you like, go now in the next 5 seconds, or else you're gonna just slow it everywhere, blah blah. And I hope you don't drink anything that's gonna mess up your stomach. I hope you don't fall ill. I mean, I hope you don't fall ill, period. But I hope this will just be one of the worst times. You know, you got your tickets and then you end up being really sick and you just can't make it, or you just got the runs and it just won't go away by the time the movie starts. Like, I hope that doesn't happen for you guys. I hope you go there and you get to watch the movie in its entirety. Please coordinate your drinking patterns. That way you can go ahead and just not have to worry about your bladder through this whole 3-hour epic of a movie, and satisfaction, from what I hear, of the ending. So with that, I'm going to shut up about it, because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to extend this to an hour. But I'd like to thank you guys for joining me again, and hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell, make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.